Hello everybody! In this guitar lesson I'm going to teach you to play the anthemic This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie. Now this is a wonderful song for beginner guitarists to learn because there are just a few simple chords. But it's also a good song to develop your guitar playing on because you can do some interesting things with those chords, and of course there's that wonderful lyric. Anyway, let's get started with a look at the chords. Okay, we're going to play this song with a capo at the 3rd fret, so pop a capo on the 3rd fret of your guitar to follow along. And the first chord we're going to play is the chord of C major. Now I'm going to demonstrate with one downstroke for every beat, and we're going to stay on each chord for 8 beats. There's 4 beats in the bar, so that means 2 bars on each chord, 8 beats. So first of all, 8 beats on that introductory chord of C major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This land is... Now next we get into a regular pattern of chords. We're going to have 8 beats on F major, then we're going to go back to C major for 8 beats, then to G major for 8 beats, and then finally back to C major again for 8 beats. So we're going to go F major to C major to G major to C major. So let's start with that F major. Your land, this land is, then to C major, my land, from Cal, then 8 beats on G major, from you to the New York, back to C major again, island, from the redwood. Now the great thing about This Land Is Your Land is that that pattern, 8 beats on F, 8 beats on C, 8 beats on G, 8 beats back on C again, that keeps on repeating throughout all of the verses and the choruses too. Redwood Forest, F major, to the Gulf Stream, C major, waters, to G major, this land was made for you, and back to C major, me. So let's look at a strumming pattern now then. I'm going to demo one for you first, and then I'll break it down and show you how to play it. Here's the demo. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me an endless skyway. I saw below me golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Alright, let's have a look at how to play that then. Alright, let's use the chord of C major to learn this strumming pattern. So put your left hand fingers in the chord of C major, and the strumming pattern is this: down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. And the timing of that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Down, 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 up, down. So each strumming pattern lasts for 4 beats. And because we're going to play 8 beats on each chord, that means we're going to play 2 strumming patterns on every chord. So like this. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. Down, 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 up, down. Okay, so let's practice that strumming pattern now then. I'm going to give you a count of 4, and then we'll come in on that introductory chord of C major, and then we're into our familiar sequence of F major to C major to G major back to C major. Remember, 2 strumming patterns, that is 8 beats, 2 bars on each of those chords, and we'll play through a chorus like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Highland, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Now, one of the wonderful things about This Land Is Your Land is that although it's a simple song in terms of its chord structure, there are a number of things we can do to make it sound prettier and more interesting. And the first one of those that we're going to look at is putting in some 7th chords. And there are 2 7th chords that we're going to put into this song. The first one is C7, which looks like this. And the second one is G7, which looks like this. So I'm going to play through the chorus and show you where they go. Here we go. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Isle. Here we go, land. Now the second strumming pattern on the C, we're going to put a C7 in instead. From the Redwood, now we're back to our normal pattern, forest to the Gulf Stream waters, to G, this land is. Then we're going to go to G7 for 1 strumming pattern or 4 beats. Me, for you and me, back to C. So you can fit in a C7 and a G7 into the chorus. You can also put them into the verse at the same place as well. Next, we're going to look at how to make that strumming pattern a bit more interesting. The next thing we're going to work on is Prettier Strumming. Now, let me give you a demo of a prettier version of the same strumming pattern that I taught you earlier. And then I'm going to show you step by step how to make your strumming sound like this. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Okay, let's start by recapping that our basic strumming pattern is down, 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 up, down. And the timing, remember, of that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now, the starting point for making our strumming pattern sound prettier is to be able to pick out a single bass note on the first beat and the third beat. Now I'm playing the chord of C in my left hand, and the root note of C is on the 5th string. Okay, relative to the capo, of course. Alright, so that's the bass note I want to pick out, and to start with I'm going to pick out that single bass note on beats 1 and 3. So this is what it will sound like. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now, I'm still playing down, 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 up, down, but the first and third downs are just on that single bass note, the fifth string, okay? On the other beats, so the 2 and the and 4, then what I'm doing is concentrating mainly on the top 3 strings, strings 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we've got bass, down on the top 3 strings, bass, up, down on mainly the top 3 strings. If you hit a bit of the 4th string, that's fine as well. But that's your pattern, and that's the first thing to practice. So 5th string is your bass note. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bass, down, bass, up, down. So have a practice of that pattern, and then I'll teach you a little bit more about how you can make your strumming even prettier. Okay, so stage 2 of Prettier Strumming is going to introduce alternating bass strings. Now, let me play it for you first, and then I'll show you how to do it. So I'm just going to stick on the C major. You might notice my fingers are in a slightly different shape. I'll show you that in a second, but it'll sound like this. So it's similar to what we were doing before, but now I'm alternating between playing the 5th string on the first beat and the 6th string on the 3rd beat. So 5th string down, 6th string up, down. But to do that, I need my left hand fingers in a slightly different shape. Actually, what I'm doing now is playing a C, or fingering a C over G chord in my left hand. So that's your normal C major. To get to C over G, move your ring finger up from the 5th string to the 6th string, 3rd fret relative to the capo, and then just pop your little finger there, or where the ring finger was, on the 5th string, 3rd fret relative to the capo. That gives you a C over G chord. Now you can play 5th string, down, 6th string, up, down, 5th string, down, 6th string, up, down. Now when you go to the F chord, we're going to do something similar here. Let me show you first. So very similar, but here we're playing 4th string, down, 5th string, up, down. And to do that, again, I need a slightly different shape in my left hand. The F that we were playing was like this. Now we're going to finger an F over C chord to enable us to play that 5th string. And to do that, very similar to the C chord actually, what you do is move your ring finger from the 4th string 3rd fret to the 5th string 3rd fret, and then pop your little finger where the ring finger was on the 4th string 3rd fret, okay? And then your pattern is just 4th string down, 5th string up, down, 4th string down, 5th string up, down. When you go to the G chord, you don't need any different fingering for the G chord. You're just going to play 6th string down, 5th string up, down, 6th string down, 5th string up, down. Next, I'm going to show you how you can play This Land Is Your Land using your thumb and your index finger on your right hand. But just before I do that, let me say, if you've been enjoying this video, please do hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, because then you'll be notified of all the future videos that I release. And also, please consider joining as a member. It's very economic to do that. And if you join as a member, as well as supporting me and supporting the channel, you also get special early access to all the new videos that I release. So please consider joining as a member. Now let's look at how you can play This Land Is Your Land using your thumb and your index finger. Now my favourite way of playing This Land Is Your Land is by using my thumb and my index finger, like this. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forests to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Now let me try and show you what I'm doing there. The basis of it, not unlike the strumming pattern that we looked at earlier, is that you're going to use your thumb, in this case, to pick out a bass note. Let's say it's the 5th string on that chord of C, on the first beat and the 3rd beat of the bar, and you're going to alternate bass notes. So beat 1, beat 3, beat 1, beat 3. And in between that, you're going to use your index finger to do a flicky down up on the treble strings. So 1 with your thumb, down up with your index finger, 3 with your thumb, down up with your index finger. So like that. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Now, obviously you can alternate which bass notes you play. So for that chord of C, you can play 5 and then 6, 5th string, 6th string, or you can play 5th string and then 4th string. Okay, either way. You can mix it up a bit. The other thing you can do is you can do some hammer-ons. So particularly on the 3rd beat of the bar, you can look to hammer on. So on that C, on the 1st beat of the bar, play the 5th string. On the 3rd beat of the bar, play the 4th string, but take your middle finger off of the 4th string 2nd fret before you play that 4th string, play it open, and then hammer your middle finger back on to that 4th string 3rd fret. Okay, so you have this. With the chord of G, you can hammer on the 5th string, again on the 3rd beat of the bar. So you're going to take your middle finger off of that 5th string, hammer it back on to 5th string 2nd fret relative to the capo. So 6th string, down, up, then you hammer on. And on the F chord, you can hammer on to the 3rd string. So remove your middle finger from 3rd string 2nd fret, play it, that 3rd string, then hammer your middle finger back on to 3rd string 2nd fret. So with the F chord, play the 4th string, down, up, hammer on to 3rd string. So we're now sprucing up that basic pattern with some hammer-ons. And so on. Now the last little technique that I showed you in that demo was some walk-ups, and there were also 1 or 2 walk-downs, but I'm just going to really focus on one walk-up between the chords of C and F. So let me demo it for you first. Okay. Now, our basic pattern, remember, was bass note, down, up, alternate bass note, down, up. So timing, remember, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. So starting on that chord of C, remember that's actually a C over G chord we're fingering there, we're going to do one basic pattern, which is 5th string, down, up, 6th string, down, up. Then we're going to do the first half of that pattern again, 5th string, down, up. So that's 1, 2 and. On the next beat, the beat of 3, we're going to start the walk up. And to do that, we're going to start walking up from an open 4th string. So that's a note of D relative to the capo. So you need to take your fingers off. You're going to play the 4th string open with your thumb on beat 3. On beat 4, you're going to play the 4th string again, but you're going to put your middle finger on the 2nd fret there. That's the note of E relative to the capo. Okay. So that's beat 4. Now we're on to the first beat of the next bar. So we finger our F over C chord, and we're going to play that 4th string again. Our little finger there is sitting on the 3rd fret of the 4th string note of F. And that takes us to the F chord, and then we play our normal pattern. Okay, so bass string, down, up, alternate bass string, down, up.